jumpers. He slid right in like he'd been the guy all along.
Was outstanding in that position. Think about the pressure on the young quarterbacks, though. Although Luke Falk's the heir apparent, there is no granted anointed starter already. They have a true competition in spring ball.
Gerard Wicks, the running back at the top of the depth chart, out of the backfield for a short gain.
And Wicks is a guy who this year has really picked up his game. He's moving into that starting spot. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. He's gotten faster. They didn't have great running stats last year. They were 125th in the nation running the ball, but their backs are very effective out of the backfield catching the ball.
Offensive guys that have quarterbacks up to make the play on the catch by Calvin Green. But we said this early for an offensive guy. Mike looks like to see his defense make some plays today.
Well, he needs to see them make plays. Again, as a coach, either way, you win, right? Your defense makes plays, you win. Your offense makes plays, you win. But you also lose. Right there, you see him getting harassed. Luke Falk in the backfield. Doesn't want to see his quarterbacks get hit. I promise you that. That was Destiny Bayo getting up the field, getting pressure on the quarterback. Coming off the outside, you watch the right side of your screen. Nice job with the hands. Destiny Bayo working to get to the quarterback. That's the kind of presence they need from that defense. He wants to see that pass rush. He tasked Alex Grinch when he came in as the new defensive coordinator coming from Missouri. He said, I want a defense who is going to want to win games as much as the offense. You don't just put it on the offense and say, oh, we're going to bend and we're going to hold them of the quarterbacks. And he really likes Falk for that leadership that he brings.
He's going to throw it off first down. And there is the speed. Don Williams racing all the way to touchdown. He had 9 of them last year. 35-yard on the gap. That's exactly what he's here for.
And it happens that quickly in this offense. Just a slant to the outside. Williams was singled up on the backside. As soon as you get past that second layer of defense, nobody is going to catch Don Williams. He's off to the races. And that's just as simple as pitch and catch we talked about earlier. Get the ball out quick, get it in the hands of the athletes, and let them do something special. That's exactly the way this offense was designed. Predicated on a quick passing game, finding the open space, and letting the skill guys do the rest.
Shears on for the point after. To get in there, gets on the board first. And the Shears puts it right through. So we have our first touchdown of the day. Again, this is probably one of the themes of this game, which is the offense
and Rangers defensive side of the ball. Coach Manning played several years in the NFL, went back to his alma mater at the University of Michigan to coach for a while. But players can feel it when it's real. When it's true and real enthusiasm, they can feel it. And that really helps the defensive side of the ball, which is all emotional anyway.
With Gerard Wicks, one of the guys we saw early on was Darius Vergara, who's battling for that nickelback position. And one of the things I wonder about is when you have a young secondary, these guys playing specifically that nickelback position. So how difficult is that to manage?
And because there's so many spread offenses in the Pac-12 conference, they're going to play a lot of that nickel. It's tough because you have to play like a corner from that nickel spot, but you're playing it in the middle of the field, which means you don't have the sideline to help you out. You literally have to play the whole field. All the receivers have a two-way go. You can't overplay a side, so very difficult to play in that position. Plus, your immediate run support as well from the nickelback position. So you're a hybrid linebacker, you're a cover corner, and you have the whole field to defend. It's very difficult to find a guy that can play that and feels comfortable in that spot.
Well, here's a second down at about 5. First pass inside complete to Don Williams again, and Don Williams again finding plenty of space. He gets down inside the 20-yard line. Just to the 20 grabs.
So Luke Falk completing a total of 12 yards through the air to Don Williams, and 1 touchdown and 1 big explosion play. That's what you like as a quarterback. Get those guys involved. Let them make pad your stats, put all those numbers up. Don Williams that time, just finding a way to weave through traffic and get the extra yards after catch.
Here's what you told us about Luke Falk, a guy that will make quick decisions. Steps up away from the pressure here, picks up a few yards before they'll whistle him down after a game of
bit confusing with Mario. I'll give you that. But you, as a quarterback, you have to take those as well. If everything breaks down on you, if you have the outside, if you can pick up the green grass as a quarterback running the ball, even if you're not a fleet of foot guy, you find those yards to move the chains.
And there will be some of that for him this year.
There will be in the system because they have those big splits on the offensive line. You get the pass rush, the things coming upfield so much that when that pocket breaks down, you have to take advantage of it. You have to make the defensive line play faithfully inside. They have to stick to their assignments.
So Dom Williams touchdown, the only one we've had so far early on here. And this is Wicks churning. Let's go down and bring in the third member of our broadcast team once again, Drea Avery. Drea?
Thanks so much, Jason. You were a legend at Washington State at the quarterback position, so I need to know, what do you think about the quarterback competition in the spring?
I like both guys. I really do. I don't know if it's a competition, more let see how good Bender really has done recently. Falk he had a great finishing up last year, the last 4 games. The one thing I really like about him, he has great intangibles. Leadership ability, what he brings off the field as well as on the field. The team's really revolving around him. Bender has that quick release, live arm, doing some things. He likes to try to fit that ball in some tight windows sometimes. So to see how it's going to all play out, I really think it's Bender's job, or excuse me, it's Falk's job right now. But Bender's kind of pushing up at his heels. And really, as a coach, looking at it from a coach's perspective, giving a lot of confidence in both quarterbacks.
Coach Leach has talked about wanting the defense to dial up the pressure. As a quarterback, you know how that is when the guys are coming at you. We've seen some of that today. What is your impression on the defense and the strides they're making?
Love it. I really do. The energy that Coach Grinch has brought in, along with Roy Manning, the 2 new coaches defensively, have really married up with Joe Sullivan and Ken Olsen, the whole defensive group. And what they're emphasizing with getting pressure, getting turnovers. They understand turnovers create wins, and that's what they want. They want to create turnovers. Last year, Washington State was bottom in the country in turnovers, and turnovers created. And so that's one of the things that I know is a huge emphasis for them. And I really like the energy that the kids love playing for them, and what the strides they have made from day 1 in spring to where they are now.
What advice have you given the players on this team as they look forward to the fall and starting up and everything?
The biggest thing I tell those guys is to understand that the game is not just about the guys next to you. It's about the guys that came before you. It's also about the guys that come after you.
Hey, they'll have a chance.
So what's that going to mean for the Pac-12 this year? A little more wide open?
I think it'll be wide open. I think defense will be a huge part of what goes on in the Pac-12 this year. The running game, as always, a couple of those schools, we looked at them in Oregon. We talked about Mariota, but they're a running football team. That's what they do. So running the ball will be very important. But we're going to be hearing a lot of new names, the veterans, the seniors. The old guard is now gone. We're going to be hearing about a lot of the young kids. As is traditional in college football, is that you can't build the dynasty because you only get them for 4 years.
Somebody sitting somewhere in a film room right now is about to break some records over the next 3 years. Let's check in now once again on the sidelines with Drea Avery. Drea?
Thank you so much, Dion. Welcome back to Washington. How does it feel being around your old teammates and being around the program again?
Yeah, no, it's a blessing. I love seeing my brother out here playing, and honestly, it's not no better place. I love being here, seeing all the fans, seeing some of my old teammates, and seeing all the coaches, and it's a good feeling.
You're doing well with the Cardinals. What's the biggest thing that you took from the Washington State football program that has helped propel you in the NFL level?
Yeah, hard work, above all else. That's something that here in this program they definitely instill in you. Right when you come in here, it's just working hard, and I feel like that's the biggest thing that I transferred over that helped me out when I went to the NFL. It's just working harder than other people, and just hopefully just earning my way. Yeah.
You're alumni now. I know you're really proud of these guys. So looking towards this 2015 team, what are you most excited about as a fan now?
Honestly, all together, collectively, watching Coach Leach's offense, be explosive as what he continues to bring in to offense each and every day. The plays that he designs, the type of play calling he does when he goes for it on 4th down, things like that I'm excited to watch because not a lot of people do. you know. And of course, I'm excited for the defense. I'm excited to watch my brother play. You know, this is actually significantly the most time he's going to be playing since he's been here. So this year for me, so I'm going to keep a close eye on the Cougars, definitely. You know, just cause. Yeah.
Just cause, huh?
Yeah, just cause.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Mini camp won't be long. Won't be long until the season starts.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
All right, it's gonna be fun. Let's send it back to you guys.
I think a draft first-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals last year, Deion Buchanan. Brother David.
Fantastic player when he was here at Washington State, an enforcer from that safety position, a ball hawk. We saw 15 interceptions. Great player in the Pac-12. Offenses always knew where he was when he was on the field because he was a difference maker in the game.
In the meantime, we saw Luke Falk first incompletion of the afternoon. We have a holding call against the offense. So a third down after the penalty decline, third and about 12.
And these are the situations where Mike Leach wants to see his quarterbacks flourish. 3rd and 12, feel the pressure, find the open guy, get the first down, move the sticks. Again, the offense, such a big part of the personality of this team, being efficient with the football, moving the ball down the field, and keeping yourself out of pressure situations.
So another completion for Dom Williams, who's been one of the stars of the afternoon so far.
Nice job by that offensive line. This offensive line for the Cougs actually bringing back everybody. Didn't lose a single offensive lineman. Falk had the opportunity to sit in the pocket, read downfield that time, found the open space, and found his favorite target so far in Dom Williams.
All 5 starters back, as you said, Mike. 5 backups back. The other thing we've seen with this offensive line is they're getting bigger, and they've continued to get bigger physically under Mike Leach.
And I've talked to Mike several times about that. His style of guy is the tall, big, 300-plus pounder on the offensive line. He uses those wide line splits. He wants the big guy that's hard to move once they get engaged. And he wants to make that defensive line work hard to get around him. You know, use that physical size and the leverage up front, and he has that now in this offensive line. It wasn't a group of guys that was geared to his style of offense when he came in, and so he's been playing a lot of younger players, freshmen, sophomore, every year, trying to get these guys ready. And he's finding out a place where those babies, when they came in, the freshmen, are now juniors, are now going into their senior year. And so all the early playing time with the young kids who are inexperienced are now veterans.
They averaged 288 pounds across the offensive line back in 2012. That has jumped significantly. They're all averaging nearly 310 now.
288 pounds, to kind of give you a reference in terms of time, would have been on the smallish side when I was playing. And that's when offensive lines were smaller back in the 90s. And offensive lines have just gotten bigger physically through the years. And not just bigger, but actually more athletic because of training, because of nutrition, because of all the new techniques that they're using to train these big guys.
You see Joe Dahl, the left tackle, the starting left tackle, all Pac-12 honorable mention last season. Falk is going to break off and pick up a first down and then step out of bounds. You take a look at what comes back for this offense and the defense this season with Jeremiah Allison, the linebacker. Talk about the offensive linemen. You see 5 of them there. Bashir's the kicker. One guy we haven't talked much about today, but that's River Craycraft is such a big part of the passing game. So this is what you said at the top. Mike Leach feels like his 4th year is a little different because he's got some guys coming back with experience.
Experience. They're not young kids anymore. They've played. They know what the Pac-12 is all about. Their expectations are good going into the season.
And offsides there. Destiny Vial got into that backfield very quickly, but a flag came down. He's slapping. He thinks it's.
You see him pointing? It's always the O-line. Those defensive linemen. Oh, he moved first. He definitely moved.
All right, let's see.
I'd say no. He definitely pulled the offensive lineman offside. He was head up against Chris Moritz, and they got him.
You know, one of the things that is illustrated, though, is just how wide the splits are on this
They're huge.
line.
Yeah, they're huge, and that's been tradition in a Mike Leach-style offense, an air raid offense. Creates the gaps in that defensive line and gives your quarterback vision, lanes to throw in downfield.
Completion to Robert Lewis, who gets right down to about the 2-yard line. Lewis had a couple touchdowns last year. Probably the leader at that H position right now.
And that's another Cougar first
punching right in rather easily with Jamal Morrow, who scores the touchdown, and the Crimson is on the board. Safeties coach.
And a big motto for him is about consistency. Their catch slogan is every play, every day, that they're looking for that effort. You can see it in the energy from Manning to Coach Grinch. All of these guys trying to bring that energy and consistency to the defense.
A few additions here. Eric Melee, the special teams coach, and there's a familiar name, Graham Harrell.
One of Coach Leach's former quarterbacks down with the Red Raiders, Texas Tech. Roy Manning, we've been hearing from all day. Eric Melee, special teams. What a great name for a special teams coach.
Just wreaking havoc, creating havoc, wreaking havoc. There's Falk with a nice completion. John Thompson with the reception.
And we saw Falk earlier coaching up Thompson on the sideline, telling him what he's looking for. Finding the open space, getting that ball out. Thompson, good concentration to catch that ball across the middle. Not advisable to turn your back to a defensive player. Maybe try to put a better move on at the end, but a good job making that catch.
Played a couple games as a freshman, a couple last year as a sophomore. Here is Wicks, who slips down and gets swallowed up.
Nice job on the fill on defense that time. Peyton Brewer, a guy who is really feeling at home in this defense for the Cougs, feeling energy about it. A guy who last year, as he played just a sophomore, he said the game, he couldn't catch up to the speed till about mid-season. When he did, he really exerted himself in that linebacker position.
Started the final 5 games at the Mike linebacker spot as Falk gets sacked. So this will push it back and make it a 3rd down and longer.
You see Pelluer at the end there knocked the ball out of Falk's hand, even though it was already dead, just harassing the quarterback. But that tells you about the emphasis on getting those turnovers, getting the strips, right, getting the ball out. It tells you that they have the defense thinking about that technique. Those things are so important. Little things at this level are the things that win you football games.
So 3rd and 18 for Falk, whose great team leads right now. He's taking a big shot downfield, and he has it broken up at the last moment, recovering to make the play on the ball. Trey Zellum.
Falk just a little bit late on the pass. Robert Lewis had him beat. Actually still could have come away with that ball. Hit him in the hands, but he got distracted.
David Buchanan.
Yeah, David Buchanan, Dion's younger brother. Kind of hard to tell these numbers.
We're getting better, but better isn't good enough. Was I thought one of his other great lines about his defense.
He is a classic defensive coordinator when you listen to him talk.
Here's Wicks, and we've talked about a lot of the guys here. What about some of the guys that they lose? It starts, of course, with Connor Halliday.
We talked about him 4 games short, threw for over 3,800 yards. And Vince Melee, his main target last year, Xavier Cooper, was very athletic, very active on that defensive line. Isaiah Myers, the next in line in terms of receivers and receptions. So some talented receivers they lose. But when we talked to Mike Leach, he said, hey, I'm not really worried about that receiver position because they got some great guys coming in behind them. Don Williams, just one of them, we've seen him have a big game today.
Cooper was second in sacks. He thinks this one might be faster as wide receiver. Might be faster.
Yeah, I was talking to him last night. He said definitely faster at the wide receiver position. He feels very comfortable at that spot. And if one of these quarterbacks steps up to be the guy who can fill Halliday's shoes, he's going to have a pretty special group in this offense.
Robert Lewis wasn't able to haul that one in.
Safety still supposed to been there too, though. You feel?
Don Williams was
I just bit on the low route.
Today had a 35-yard touchdown at the end of the year in that Apple Cup. So he dropped another in that game, but 43 catches last year makes him the 3rd leading returning receiver from last year's team.
And averaging 30 yards per catch so far today with a touchdown.
Take that. As we wind down towards the end of the first half, Falk with some time, and he's able to throw this one complete to John Thompson. Thompson battles forward, and that'll be a first down for the Crimson. Timeout called on the field. Take a look at John Thompson, second on the depth chart of that H spot.
Just a shallow cross route. Nice job by the inside receiver. Bethel High School.
The lure come up to make that stop. Look at what Dom Williams has done so far this afternoon.
Catch a screen. Turn it into big yards. Catch a slant.
From the other side every time, bro.
Touchdown. All he does is make big plays so far in his spring game. And he's a guy that they feel really good with as a senior coming into the season. Talked about last year, 43 catches, 9 touchdowns. Very comfortable with his experience at that wide receiver position. And one of the reasons that Coach Leach on the offensive side of the ball is so happy with that receiver group.
So 23 seconds left here after a timeout. Ball's going to throw complete to Calvin Green. Gets wrestled down after a short gain. Green
I got a pass down
13 catches last year, maybe the fastest guy among a faster receiving corps, just a sophomore.
A true sophomore at that, at a Luther Burbank High School in Sacramento. You know, California, a big recruiting grounds for the whole Pac-12, but for the Cougs especially. They have a solid base down in California. Good football player coming out, got experience early on. Again, we talked about it. When you come into a program to fit your system, you have to play a lot of young guys, and so you take some lumps from inexperience early on, but as they mature and progress and turn into the older guys, then you really have something going for you because they understand your system, and they've not just practiced it, but they've played it.
How important to have some experience at wide receiver when you've got young quarterbacks?
It's very important, and those guys coach each other up about what they're seeing and what they're feeling out there on the field.
Dom Williams with another catch, close to a first down at about the 3-yard line. And another timeout called by the offense, by the Crimson. 8 seconds left here in this first half.
And again, just that quick slant on the outside. Great concentration by Williams. Having a lot of a lot of gray shirts flying at him out there. It's tough as a wide receiver to get those arms out there. You hear guys talk about alligator arms, and that's when you get them. You know people are coming at you to take a shot, but Dom Williams that time extended those arms, made the catch first, and then tried to make his move.
As a quarterback, you felt how about alligator arms?
I wasn't ever really happy about them. Oftentimes they were my fault when I throw somebody into coverage. But you didn't want to see those on the outside. You wanted guys, listen, if I'm going to stand back here and take a shot in the pocket to deliver this ball, then you better take a shot to catch it.
It's hard to make that argument today, though.
This game practice, right? Not in the game, you're right, in spring ball. And you never want to lead anybody into the teeth of defense either, right? You're not trying to throw anybody into a big hit. But sometimes when you're under pressure in the pocket, that's just the way it works out.
Pat Porter in coverage there of Dom Williams. Right now, I got to figure if you're on Dom Williams, you're thinking the ball's coming to you. That was third down, so fourth down. Going to see a field goal attempt coming here from Quentin Brashears. 20 yards. Just inside the left hash. Missed it. Yanked it left.
Let's go, nigga.
That is a tough one. Coach Leach does not want to see that at all out of his kickers.
But it was a good day so far in the first half for the Crimson, leading 17-10 here at the half. We'll be back with more
right after that shit. At the halftime, go.
And it makes it simple for these guys to come into to learn how to run the offense.
Because that's all the plays there are, because the rest is in his head.
Because that's the plays that there are. And actually, a signaling process is incredibly simple, too. It may be one move where he'll just signal in a play. But those are the plays within the system, and then you rep them and you find what works against tendencies that the defenses are giving you.
We're here in Spokane, Joe Albi Stadium, an hour and a half north of Pullman, and Luke Falk remains in. We'll have a running clock here for the second half. We'll see some of the threes a little later on. If you're just joining us, this is the ones and twos, and we've just been told it, in fact, will not be a running clock for the third quarter.
Coaches always want to get those extra reps, right? It was going to be a running. No, we want to get a look. That's probably the defensive side of the ball, too. Say, no, we need more reps. We need to get these guys out there. We're not satisfied as they predicted they wouldn't be.
Well, one of the things, we talk about work for the defense is we're wrapping the fall here for Washington State, but looking ahead, or wrapping the spring, looking ahead to the fall, is the idea of maybe getting some different looks that you'll see throughout the conference that this offense does not provide. Some more of the two tight ends, some more of the two back looks that you'll see throughout the league defensively, particularly early in the non-conference.
And that's a great point. If you're going to face Stanford, it's going to look a whole lot different than if you're going to face Oregon or Arizona or Cal. When you get those spread looks, you're going to be playing nickel all game long. But when you go against a team like Stanford who runs the ball, pounds it downhill, you are going to have to simulate that pound the rock type of ball. And, for Alex Grinch, that's the hard part, is simulating that look, because as you recruit, you don't stack with that kind of look. They don't have a true tight end on the whole program, so you have to find guys that can play those positions.
You see Alex Grinch tucked in there without any cover on his head, just behind the post.
He went skin to win today. I like it.
Is that what that is? Was a little rainy here earlier today.
No hat, no hood. Defensive guy, just going to rough the elements and coach.
Well, you mentioned what you see against Oregon. He was part of the staff at University of New Hampshire with Sean McDonald. We asked him who some of the influences on him. He's seen Dave Steckel, who was the defensive coordinator at Missouri, now at Missouri State. But Sean McDonald, the head coach at UNH, New Hampshire. And he had an OC there that has risen to some fame in the game of football.
That wasn't bad. A guy by the name of Chip Kelly. And he said, without Coach McDonald, that Chip Kelly isn't Chip Kelly. And so, huge praise, Coach McDonald, UNH. Nice job by Falk delivering this ball. And again, one of the big things for this defense is do not let it get behind you. So, a good play in that secondary. Isaac Dotson reacting up, making a play from that free safety position. They're going to make catches. This offense is going to complete passes, but you don't let it get behind you to the next level.
Isaac Dotson, the guy who missed some of last year, the injury, expected to be the starting free safety on this team. You saw the nice catch there by Kyron Priester, the guy that you mentioned earlier. They love his speed, the transfer from Clemson.
Wearing the gray, playing for the Crimson as a receiver that time. Interesting little crossover. Oh yeah, by the way, here's your penny. Nobody knew who to tackle that time.
No wonder you got so wide open. But to his credit, you mentioned it. This is a young man with a lot of speed that they think can make an impact as the freshman transfer.
A good football player. They expect him to make noise in this offense. And a very deep receiving crew. They returned 7 of their top 11 pass catchers from last season. So he's going to have to find a space and make a space for him in the system.
You saw Marcellus Pippins, 27 in the gray on defense. Another guy who is expected to have an expanded role this year. Nice tackle there by Peyton Pallure, middle linebacker. But there is Pippins, who, I think the plan was to redshirt him last year because of injuries. He had to play at the end, appeared in 3 games, made a couple of starts, and in that Apple Cup game had 5 tackles, one of them a tackle for loss, had a pass breakup, and looked like he belonged.
And he's been very good so far this year. In a scrimmage earlier this season, had 2 interceptions, so a guy who's a ball hawk, the type of player they want in that secondary.
3rd down and 2 for Luke Falk. Finding some time and throwing complete, taking a big shot was John Thompson, who held on to the ball. As Willie Roach came up to make a hit.
And even though that pocket collapsed on him a little bit, watch as center get pushed back into his lap. He separates, resets his feet, and delivers a strike to move the chains. It's good pocket awareness by Falk. It's a good job staying composed. Oftentimes when you feel that center come right up on you, get pressed into your lap, it's hard as a quarterback to maintain your composure. You want to flush, but instead he just reset his feet and delivered an accurate strike.
Falk again, just dump off over the middle and make it a touchdown-saving ankle tackle that time.